All right, here we go. DJ Football here. Video number two for how you can win in fantasy football. If you're a rookie, if you're a veteran player looking for some tips, if this is your first time, if you tried it out but you haven't succeeded in the past, this is the place for you. So I'm going to talk to you right now about what are the different fantasy football sources that are out there, how can you play, and then two, what do you do before draft? Your draft is coming up. You want to be successful. How can you best take advantage of your time to make sure that when that draft happens, you are successful, you end up with an awesome team? So first of all, some of the major players in NFL, the major sources you go to play fantasy football are NFL.com. They have fantasy football. Now, fantasy football is not, you don't have to pay for it. Actually, most players play for free. A lot of people think it's paid because they see the advertisements on TV for like DraftKings and those kind of things where they do daily fantasy football. You can pay for it. You can have some added benefits by doing that or get put in for prizes at the end, but you don't have to. Like me personally, I play for fun, free. On occasion, I play in some buddies leagues and we'll have a buy-in, and then there's a grand prize at the end due to the people who bought in and paid that initial fee, so that it makes it more fun. You're competing for something awesome at the end. But usually you can play for free and just have a lot of fun. So NFL.com is a good source. Yahoo.com is a great source. And ESPN.com is a good source as well. There's a lot of other sources out there, but those are the main three that I utilize. The top two that I prefer are NFL and Yahoo. I love Yahoo's interface, how it looks, how they run things, the updates they give for players. NFL.com, same thing. I prefer Yahoo a little bit more, but I do like NFL.com's. They're a lot faster on updating scoring, and they're really good at getting good interviews and analysis from the players that you're playing with, so you can keep yourself up to date without having to go out and find outside resources. So I play on both of them. I find them a lot of fun. Usually each source only allows you to have 6 leagues per account. So you can make multiple accounts, or you can have multiple sources you're playing from. So that's a little bit on sources here. Next, what do you do prior to the draft? So you're in a league now, or you need to find a league. So finding a league, you can either go out and find some friends of yours or coworkers or family members or people in your neighborhood that play, and they can invite you, and you can play with people you know. That's what I find to be the most fun. But I do play a lot of public leagues, which means you jump on one of those sources we just talked about, you join their public league, they say, hey, click here to join a league. It links you together with a whole bunch of other players that just want to play, and you're in a league now. And so usually you got to create an account on one of those sources, and then it uses that account to play in that league. And you can usually, like I said, have up to 6 leagues per source. So once you've found a league, I would recommend doing mock drafts. Mock drafts are exactly what they sound like. They mimic the drafting process, but it's not for real. It's not final. It's just practice. And so I would highly recommend you do a lot of mock drafts. Personally, I'll go through like 50 to 100 mock drafts before I have any real drafting going on. That's because every system's a little different too. Every source, you gotta make sure whatever you're using, whether it's your phone, your tablet, your computer, that it functions with that drafting system. Plus, there's so many different variations of drafting. You wanna make sure that you understand the type of draft that your league is doing and that you're practicing that. Whether it's a snake draft or a auction draft, you wanna know what that is and practice. Because different players are gonna pick people at different times. And if you get position number 1 pick, that's a very different draft than if you're picking number 8. And so you want to make sure you practice those different positions in the drafting lineup as well, so that you're comfortable drafting players no matter where you get put, whether it's selected by your league manager or whether it's random. Most of the time it's random. Next, with getting ready for the draft is, with mock drafts, I would make sure that you're also practicing 8-mans, 14-mans, 12-mans. There's different sizes of leagues that you can get into, and if you're playing in one league, know what size it is and practice that one. Practice being first, practice being last, so that you're not caught off guard when the real draft happens. Next, research. knowing the players is the most beneficial thing you can do. First of all, what I'd recommend is you're getting up to speed on who's good, who's a hot player out there. Get an idea of who they are. You can always go to NFL.com or ESPN or Yahoo, and they'll have all kinds of information. I would take a look at their ranking charts that they have and take a look at each of those players and try to find out why are they ranked where they are. Are there issues with them that you should know about? What is their previous performance? Always on those ranked charts, they'll show you the year previous performance, how many points they accrued. That's usually a good indicator of what they're going to do the next year, depending on injuries and suspensions and that kind of thing as well. So definitely do your research. The more you do, obviously, the more knowledgeable you're going to become the draft. Also, training camp starts, preseason starts. You've got a lot going on, and so I always have the apps on my phone, the NFL.com app, the Yahoo app, and they notify me when awesome things happen, like trades and when big things happen, like if a player gets injured, so that I've got a source feeding me information, and I don't have to go out finding it. So I'd recommend you have those apps on your phone so that you can have that active information as well and not have to always be researching. Because once you get that basic foundation of information, then you just have to have the updates. And so that's where those apps come in super handy. And make sure the notifications are on so that they're sending you that information even when you're not aware of it or thinking about it. Preseason games are an awesome opportunity. If your draft comes late in the year, close to the starting of the season, preseason games are great to see some of your players that you're looking at drafting actually play. Some of your all-stars won't play, or they'll play very little. But some of those players that are kind of on the edge of whether you want them or not are going to play during that preseason. You can see whether or not they're playing at a caliber you want to have on your team. And then lastly, depth charts. I would honestly recommend you go to Google, type in NFL depth chart, DEPTH, and look at that. They'll give you a ranking of all the players that are available in the league on every team and by position. So it'll show you who is, for example, Seattle Seahawks #1 running back, who's ranked there. So that you know when you're drafting, you're not picking up their third string running back because they're not going to play very much. So that's not always perfect, but it gives you a good idea of who to focus on, who to target once the first few rounds of the draft go by. And now you're sitting on players that aren't the rock stars of the league. You can see that depth chart and go, okay, this guy's a running back #1 on the first tier. He's probably going to get a lot of carries. We should pick him up. So I definitely recommend utilizing that. You can also create your own ranking list. I do that personally. I use Excel, put in all the players that I possibly might draft, and rank them by position so that I know where they're at. And then when the draft happens, I follow that and make sure that my rankings are followed because I don't always agree with all the other experts. So awesome. Hopefully that helped you. I'm looking forward to our next video. It's going to be on knowing the rules of your league. Tune into that next video, and we'll see you there. Thanks so much. You're going to do great.